Lord bless Africa. May her glory be lifted high. Hear our prayers. Lord bless us, your children. Lord, we ask you to protect our nation, intervene and end all conflicts. Protect us. Protect our nation. Protect South Africa. South Africa, from the blue of our skies, from the depths of our seas, over our everlasting mountains, where the echoing cracks resound, sound the call to come together, and united we shall stand. Let us live and enjoy freedom in the universe, our home. In the name of God, you are blessed for simply listening to this video. I have been busy in the previous few days, engaged with the High Court of the Western Cape. And recently, as in yesterday, I was embarrassed, along with other counsel, having to come to court, and we find that the Honorable Judge President Hlophe is the agent judge on duty, who unlawfully and intentionally deprived me as a person of my fundamental human rights to have a dispute that can be resolved by the application of law decided in a fair public hearing before a court, or where appropriate, another independent and impartial tribunal, as obligated in terms of Section 34 of the Constitution. Inalienable rights are inalienable rights. They are unchallengeable. They are constitutional guarantees for all people. The inalienable rights in the Constitution are the cornerstone of our democracy. Without those inalienable rights, we do not have democracy. It has come to my knowledge and attention that the courts are being used to sustain criminal activity, corruption, apartheid, and misconduct in our country. And in service and defense of my country and its people, I am obligated by law to ensure that all people abide by the supremacy of the Constitution and the rule of law. On Friday, the 21st, or 22nd rather, we were supposed to be heard at 10:00, and we are heard by the Honorable Divet A.J. Madam, who subsequently removed the matter from the roll as a result of the matter of 14 September 2018. And following the concern of the court, I have then subsequently made a notice of motion in terms of Section 18 of the Superior Courts Act to have the court order of 14 September 2018 rescinded in terms of Section 21C of the Vexatious Proceedings Act 3 of 1956. In accordance to Rule 4 of the Uniform Rules I then had the parties served for an application to be heard in terms of Rule 612A of the Uniform Rules, read with Rule 42(1)A of the rules. And on 26 October at 10:00 or as soon thereafter as the parties may be heard. And subsequent to that, for the whole day, Judge President Hlophe presiding as a judge on urgent duty, through her registrar, informed me that I will be called later on for my matter because he's got other matters that are on the urgent roll. And having understanding that, we then parted ways with counsel, who then informed me that he's in his chambers and will subsequently be called upon the call of the court. In that regard, we then came to a point where we wait for court. Waited for court. And when I called counsel asking him where he is so that we can approach the registrar for the allocation of time for the matter to be heard, counsel was not there. And subsequently the counsel arrived later in court while I was standing outside, and I tried to call the urgent registrar on duty for the matter to be heard, but the urgent registrar was not available. The urgent registrar later returned the call while I was in the taxi returning to where I lay my head. Fellow South Africans, what was achieved yesterday, 26 October 2021, is obstruction of justice. It's prejudice to humanity's belief to justice. And in any event, what is being achieved is that criminals are being protected by the court itself. As a leader, a senior officer in the South African National Defence Force, the pride of the Republic of South Africa, I cannot allow such misconduct to continue, and will then make an application to have the Honorable Judge President Hlophe imprisoned in terms of Section 104(10) of the Defence Act, read with Section 104(11) and Section 4(1) and Section 4(2) of the Prevention and Combating of Torture of Persons Act number 13 of 2003. In simple terms, when you do not do your job, you go to jail. It's as simple as that. And in this regard, Judge President Hlophe did not do his job, and he must go to jail. That is the application that is being made, and that is the application that will be heard in the Western Cape High Court by a full court. Fellow South Africans, the supremacy of the Constitution and the rule of law cannot be undermined by any person. And it does not matter who that person is. A violation of dignity, subjective dimensions. The act consists in the violation of another dignity or privacy. In order to determine whether there has been an infringement of another's dignity, both a subjective and an objective test are applied. The subjective test is the following. In instances of infringement of dignity, as opposed to infringement of privacy, person Y must be aware of excess offending behavior and feel degraded or humiliated by it. Dignity, self-respect, and mental tranquility describe subjective attributes of a person's personality. For example, the mental tranquility of the timid will be more easily disturbed than that of the robust. In addition, an individual's self-respect is intimately connected with his particular station in life and has moral values. There is, however, the following exception to this rule, where Y is a young child or a mentally defective person. He would not be able to understand the nature of a person's conduct and consequently would not be able to feel degraded by it. This, however, does not afford X a defense. For this reason, the crime can be committed even in respect of a young child or a mentally defective person. As far as proof of the fact that Y felt degraded is concerned, it is usually assumed that conduct which offends the sensibilities of a reasonable person would also have offended Y's sensibilities. If, however, it comes to light that for some reason, such as broad-mindedness or consent, person Y did not take any offense at X's behavior, a court will not convict X of the crime. In this particular regard, good people, you're having a reality where Judge President Hlophe is defeating the ends of justice. And by defeating the ends of justice, with me as a person in service and defense of the country and its people, acting in accordance with the Constitution and the law, I must uphold, defend, and respect the Constitution as the supreme law of the Republic. And I must promote the unity of the nation and that which will advance the Republic. I defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. It is correct that I do not have any other choice but to act in accordance with the Constitution and the law. For us to be in a position where we can live and enjoy freedom in the universe, our home, the court or the judiciary must fulfill its mandate. There is only one court, or there is only one high court in the Western Cape. And that particular court is in Cape Town. Its head is the incumbent Judge President Hlophe, who refused to act in accordance with the Judicial Code of Conduct. And such cannot be allowed to perpetuate as a decline in critical capabilities. As a citizen of the Republic of South Africa, I have the duty to my country and its people to report criminal activity, corruption, and misconduct. As President of the Republic of South Africa, I have a duty to ensure that those who do not uphold the rule of law are subsequently dealt with in accordance with the Constitution and the law. It is a responsibility that I can only exercise when all of you understand the reality that the Constitution is the supreme law of the Republic. Law or conduct that is inconsistent with the Constitution is invalid, and all obligations that are imposed by the Constitution must be fulfilled. If the Constitution says everyone has the right to have any dispute that can be resolved by the application of law decided in a fair public hearing before a court, or where appropriate another independent and impartial tribunal or forum, that is what must happen. My name is Sylvester Volane Madala Mangolele. I am available on 0848359161 in service and defense of my country and its people in accordance with the Constitution and the law, and with honor, dignity, courage, and integrity. I serve in the South African National Defence Force with loyalty and pride, as a citizen and a volunteer. I do not obey a manifestly illegal order, and I am in a position where the Honorable Judge President Hlophe is forcing me to obey a manifestly illegal order, so that criminal activity, corruption, apartheid, and misconduct can be sustained or supported without the supremacy of the rule of law and the Constitution playing its part. Good people, I ask of you to understand this particular reality to be true, to understand that I am not imprisoned in jail as unlawfully and intentionally misrepresented in the DOD PESOL system since 8 August 2018. Understand it to be true that the court was bribed for all people to believe that I was heard or given an opportunity of being heard on 14 September 2018 before the Honorable Davis J made an order declaring that I have persistently or without any reasonable ground instituted legal proceedings against one person or against many other persons in court, i.e. being a vexatious litigant. While the reality is that before that can happen, you must grant me an opportunity of being heard, and then I was never heard. Just like I was never heard when people said to the DOD PESOL system that I am convicted to imprisonment for 5 years. Fellow South Africans, the Constitution and its supremacy is our founding value in Chapter 1 of our constitution, section 1 of the very same constitution. We cannot lose or forget to pass begin in everything that we do. That is why at the beginning of this particular video I said, God bless Africa. Nkosi sikelela i-Afrika. That is the beginning. And in passing the begin, when it comes to the application of law, section 1 in chapter 1 must always be borne to mind. Human dignity is the first value to be protected. And human dignity is the ability for one to be free and equal before the law. And without any further ado, I ask you all people to teach your young, to teach yourselves, to teach everybody that you know, whom you love, even those that you think that you may hate or dislike. Teach them, to teach their children and their children's children, for all of us to say to God in national prayer, when we echo, when we sound the call where the echoing cracks resound, for all to come united, we shall stand, so that we can live and enjoy freedom in the universe, our home. The new national prayer is the same. Nkosi sikeleli Afrika, maluphakanyisu phondo lwayo, izwa imithandazo yethu, Nkosi sikelela. You understand, that does not change, it remains as is. The only thing that changes is when you get to the last part, which is the highest note of the national anthem, where you will say to God with your own mouth, to say, let us live and enjoy freedom in the universe, our home. I thank you very much.